So picture this, if you will. You're at home, you're in your garden, and you're growing strawberries. And you wish there was a way, nay, not a way. You wish there was a plant that you could plant with your strawberries that would make your gardening experience easier. Well, guess what? That time is here and now, and it's with me at Urban Garden with Gray. What we are doing is we are transplanting marigolds with our strawberry plants. And I want to tell you, marigolds are, it's first the description of the plant. It's an orangish, yellowish color, annual bloom. It's a flower, but it's more than just that. It might be the key to unlocking the ease of your garden. So, okay, let's face it. Gardening is an incredibly rewarding experience, and what could be more delightful than biting into your own plump, juicy strawberry straight from your own backyard patch? But did you know, introducing the marigold as a companion plant, you can unlock a world of benefits for your beloved strawberries. Get ready to embrace harmonious partnership that will have your garden flourishing like never before. So, all right, check it out. First and foremost, let's talk about pest control. These plants are great at pest control because they get rid of nematodes. Nematodes are microscopic organisms that actually can plague the roots of your strawberries. It They deter rabbits, they deter deer that might wreak havoc on your garden. I don't know if you guys might have them, but here in North Texas, we have white-tailed deer, and we definitely have. I've seen several rabbits on my property. Marigolds emit a strong, distinctive scent that acts as a natural deterrent, creating an invisible force field around your precious strawberries. And so you can say goodbye to all those unwanted visitors and pests. But wait, there's more. Marigolds are true overachievers in the garden, releasing natural herbicides from their roots that also suppress the growth of weeds. You got it. Imagine not having to bend over, not having to get down on your knees and pull the weeds from your strawberry plants. Yes, I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I'm in my 40s and my back feels like it's in its 60s, and my knees, they even just about gave up the ghost long time ago. So, planting marigolds with your strawberries will suppress the weeds so you don't have to work as hard. Not to mention, these plants, these flowers are nutrient powerhouses. As they gracefully decompose, they release a cornucopia of essential elements like potassium, phosphorus, and calcium, essentially giving all the nutrition that your nutrient hungry strawberries will want. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't provide nitrogen, but if you followed my steps on how to set up your soil correctly, using coffee grounds and compost, you should have more than enough nitrogen in there. Hopefully, it hasn't leached off on you. But wait, have you subscribed yet? Subscribing really helps out the channel and lets me know that what I'm doing is actually beneficial to the gardening community. So if you haven't hit that subscription button, could you do me a favor and hit that for me? Matter of fact, turn the notification bells on so you'll know all the times that Urban Gardening with Gray puts out his video. But before we move forward, let's talk a little bit about my kids' strawberry fairy garden. I'm so proud of my kids. My daughter is 8 and my son is 5, and they constructed this elevated raised bed all themselves. I did guide them using hand tools, but they did it all themselves. And I love how they set up their fairy garden by adding these figurines that we got from a Dollar Tree. So I'm going to help them out and go ahead and plant some marigolds in their garden as well, because I think that pop of color is really going to bring things together pretty nice. But yeah, I'm so proud of the kids. I couldn't ask for better. I couldn't ask for more. But now back to the marigolds. So these marigolds that I actually grew from seed. I started germinating these about maybe the first week in March, maybe last week in February, if memory serves me correctly. And as far as marigolds, you're looking at blooms about 30 days after germination. So we should be actually seeing some blooms pretty soon. Now that I got the secondary leaves on them, I know that it's the right time to go ahead and be able to transplant them, specifically in my area. I'm a gardener in North Texas. It may vary depending on your region and your area. But we are now past the potential frost date, so it's safe to go ahead and start placing plants out in the garden again for us here in North Texas. So I think these marigolds actually do pretty well. Now, another cool thing about marigolds is that they are also pollinators magnets, attracting a whole host of beneficial insects to your garden. So, I mean, I really don't want to get out here and self pollinate these strawberries myself. So, anything I can do to encourage more pollinators to come around, it's definitely going to be in my best interest and yours if you choose to add them to your garden as well. Remember, the whole thing I told you at the beginning of this video is that by planting these marigolds, it's going to make your life easier when it comes to growing strawberries. Oh, now we talked about the color, right? Talked about the color when we were looking at the beginning of the fairy garden, but that yellow and that orange that pops from the marigold is really gonna look good against the green, white, and the red that you get from the strawberries. Um, I can't wait to show you guys, an update on what the marigolds look like in the garden itself because I think it's really gonna just pop visually. So a lot of my veteran subscribers and watchers know that I'm a firm believer in companion planting. I love companion planting. That's all I talk about. That's all I think about because the whole point of my gardening is, let's face it, I have very limited time. I have several jobs. I have several businesses. I am a father and I am a husband. So my time is very short. Now, granted, gardening is my happy place. This is where I love to be. But I don't always have the time to do all the things I need in my garden. So if I can plant something like a marigold with my strawberries, that makes my life easier. Or if I can plant some basil with my tomatoes and my bell peppers, so that I can, get the most amount of my yield and deter pests. Or lettuce with the cucumbers. Or what else did I? Companion planted something else. Oh, just recently I companion planted sunflowers with my corn. This year I am doing something ambitious. I am actually going to be growing glass gem corn. And so, along with the glass gem corn, again, if you've seen this channel before, you might notice that I've grown auricula sunflowers. These are sunflowers that get up to 10 feet tall, and it is no joke. They really get tall. So I wanted to companion plant my sunflowers with my corn because they do very well together. So I made sure to give them the adequate spacing that they need. And once I actually started getting some blooms and started getting some movement on the sunflowers and the corn, I'll definitely make sure to show you guys that. But what are these? Now I started talking about sunflowers. Now I'm thinking about no, these are marigolds. So I knew it was time to definitely go ahead and get these marigolds in the ground. And in this bed that I'm placing them in, this is a bed that myself and my 5 year old, we got the sandy loam and the soil, and we planted all these strawberries together. That's actually in this video here. I'm teaching him about the nitrogen cycle and about how to set up your bed properly. And he is a young master gardener in training, and he loves it. Just the other day, I was having a conversation with him about the sunflowers that I was mentioning earlier. And we were talking about the fact that sunflowers track the sun. And I was explaining to my son that that's a trait in plants called phototropism. So it's the ability for a plant to be able to track the sun. I can't wait to start teaching him about the cucumbers and about thingotropism. Think, I'm messing up the word. Thingotropism, where just by feel, viney plants tend to reach out and grab things like the grapes and the cucumbers tend to do. So I can't wait to share that information with him because he is just a proverbial sponge when it comes to all this stuff. He has a natural love and affinity for it, and it's time that I love sharing with him. I mean, that's my father-son time right there when I'm out here in the garden. And see, with that being said, so even if you're new here or you're an experienced gardener or you're you're a veteran gardener to this channel, I love putting my soaker hoses. I love burying them right by the root systems. One, so that the hose doesn't deteriorate, but two, so that the water can get right to the roots where it needs to be, and then it can drain off properly through this sandy loam that we've created here. But what I was talking about before is that I love spending time in the garden. Oh, wait. No, that's my potatoes. Check out my potatoes. Oh, they're doing so good. I can't wait to go ahead and start pulling those. I mean, yeah. Now, don't ask me what kind of potatoes these are because I placed all kind of things in this tomato garden. I mean, potato garden. Now I've got white potatoes, yellow potatoes, red potatoes. They're all potatoes, so I'm just growing them all together. Will they work? I don't know, but that's 50% of gardening, trying things out. But I'm going to take a moment, take a break, go in and see one of my favorite little cats. This is Whiskers. He is hanging out in the my windowsill, hanging out with my plants that are these are my water propagations. So in the water propagations, I have a couple of basils there that I'm getting ready for my cucumbers. Excuse me, not my cucumbers, but my tomatoes and my bell peppers. Because as I said before, I love companion planting them, and I love the smell of fresh basil. Also, there's a monstera in there, and one of these, that's my purple basil. It's not doing too well, and then that sweet basil looked like it's on its last leg. But that's why I propagate so many because it's a numbers game. And now I have this abundance of marigolds that I'm going to take down into the garden because these I did not separate. I honestly just kind of dumped the seeds in this tray. So I'm going to take these down to the garden so that I can plant them with my original strawberry pyramid, and I'll just have to hand separate them. It's a little bit more work, but I mean, it's not really work when you love what you do. You know what I mean? So we're going to come down here to the strawberry pyramid, and we're going to pick a couple of spots. We got some mulch in here from last year. The strawberry pyramid has been doing significantly well. Um, I'm thinking this spot right here will be good. Move these sticks out of the way. You want to leave some space in between your strawberries. I'd say about 6 inches or so because you want to be able to, you want the strawberries to be able to breathe so that they don't get stifled, being bunched all up on one another. But placing some marigolds in between these bunches, I don't think it's going to be a really big issue. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and kind of ease these plants out of this pot. See, I'm just pressing upon the sides to kind of release them from the sides. And then I'm going to press down here on the bottom. And that's going to allow me to kind of unlock them. So I don't just tumble the marigolds down onto the ground. There we go. Yeah, see, they already kind of started separating here for me. So that's good. All right, there you go. All right, here we are. Let's go ahead and just kind of ease these together. Now, since I put in perlite, the soil is nice and kind of free flowing, and that's what you want for strawberries. That's what you want for marigolds. You don't want the plants to be just bogged down and compacted. You want them to be able to easily allow that water and air to get through because the roots actually need all three: soil, water, and air. Let's clear a spot here. We don't need to make that deep of an impact because the roots are already well established. So we can just kind of place those down in here and then just tuck our soil around. And just like before with all the rest of the transplants, we're going to pull a little pressure and then boom, there we go. All right, and on to the next one. But what I was saying before, when I got distracted, I have ADHD, so I get distracted a lot. But before I got distracted, I was talking about gardening. One, I was talking about being out with my son. I was just talking about being in nature and being in the soil. I mean, let's face it, here in North Texas, it gets hot in the summer. But my favorite place to be is just out in the nature. Either if I'm on my deck or down by my creek or in my garden, I love being in nature. Everything my family and I do is always going to be nature centric. I mean, even for vacations and stuff, we go out to the beach and we're just about being there in the elements. Um, I don't know. I don't know. That's just, it's therapy for me. And I hope you feel the same way about your garden. And that's the whole reason why I wanted to share with you guys the the beauty of companion planting. Because if your gardening is starting to become a hassle, if it's starting to feel like a job, you might be in it for the wrong reasons. So just always keep that in mind. Gardening's supposed to be something that you enjoy, that you love. And like I've said many, many times before, something that's not expensive. Because I was actually in the store the other day and I just happened to walk past and I saw a gentleman purchase some seedlings from a big box store. And I'm not going to mention the name of the company, but I explained to him, first I said, sir, it's okay if I give you some advice, because I didn't want to be rude. Yes, unfortunately, I am that gardener in the garden center and I'm giving people unsolicited advice. But I was talking to him and I said, the price that you're going to pay for those seedlings, like, you're going to spend a lot of money on those. He was like, I know. And he had only about five plants in his cart. He was like, I'm already at like $5. I mean, at $20, with just these five plants. I was like, dude, honestly, you know, if you had the time. Now, I mean, granted, I know it's already spring, so, or close to spring, but it's already spring here and you want to get out and you want to grow. Either, so it's kind of too late to start growing by seed. When I say too late, the time that you're going to harvest is going to be a long time. Um, but if you go to a local nursery and patronage, one, a local business, not a big box chain store, but you patronage a local business, you can get those same seedlings for a much cheaper price. And the good thing about it is you will have root systems that are well established. They won't be root bound because, like a lot of these chain businesses, they're sitting there mass producing these seedlings. And by the time you get them, the roots are all wrapped up at the bottom and you kind of have to break them loose and everything. I and then plus you're paying a ridiculous amount of money. So I mean, you don't know if you really actually even have a healthy plant because they're so root bound. So in my opinion, just my opinion, I'm not trying to get preachy or anything. Everybody, do what works best for you. But I always say, if I can't start these seeds myself, I'm going to go to a local nursery. One, it's going to be a better price. The people are usually really nice because they're garden people like us. That's the key part right there. They're people like us. They're our people. So if you can support your local businesses, go to a nursery. You can get some good plants, and usually a lot of times they'll have native plants to your area too. Because if you're an inexperienced gardener, you might be getting something that actually does not do well in your area at all. But, the big box stores, they'll sell them. You'll buy them, right? So they'll sell them. So going to a local nursery is definitely the best. So we're all done. Très c'est bon. And as we like to say here at Urban Gardening with Gray, enjoy life, enjoy family, and enjoy your garden. Thanks again for watching, guys.